You are mixing your oils and lye solution together, and suddenly the batter starts to thicken. But is it ready to pour, or did you wait too long? That moment can make or break your entire batch. I am Kathy, the clumsy soaper, and today we are going to take the mystery out of trace and help you nail that perfect pour every time. You will learn what trace is, the different stages it goes through, and why recognizing each stage matters, whether you are making soap at home or producing it professionally. Let us get into it together. If you have ever stared at a soap recipe that just says mix to trace and wondered what that actually means in practice, you are not alone. Trace is one of those terms that gets thrown around constantly in soap making, but rarely gets explained properly. We are going to break down every single stage of trace so you always know exactly what is happening in your bowl and exactly when to pour. Trace does not happen all at once. It moves through distinct stages, and knowing where you are in that progression changes everything about how you work with your batter. You start with a thin, milky emulsion, then move through light and medium trace, which give you the most flexibility for swirls and designs. Thick trace is workable, but limits your time. False trace fools many beginners. It looks done, but the oils have simply solidified temporarily, often from cooling butters or hard fats. And overtrace means your batter has moved too far too fast, usually leaving you with a lumpy, unworkable mess. Each stage has a purpose, and recognizing them by sight and texture is a core skill every soaper needs to develop. When your batter reaches emulsion stage, the oils and lye water have come together into one smooth, uniform mixture. No streaks, no oily pockets floating around, just a consistent batter that looks a lot like thin yogurt or a very light pancake batter. Think of it like making a simple vinaigrette. At first, the oil and vinegar separate, but once they emulsify, you get that creamy, blended consistency. This is your earliest safe pour point, and it is also the earliest safe moment to add your fragrance oils. Light trace is your starting point. It is the earliest stage where saponification has just begun to create that slight thickening in your batter. When you lift your spatula and drizzle the mixture back into the bowl, it leaves a thin, faint line on the surface that disappears within a few seconds. Think of it like warm pancake batter. Fluid, pourable, but with just a hint of body. This is your window for swirls and intricate designs, because the batter still flows freely enough to manipulate color and pattern before it sets. Medium trace is your sweet spot for most soap projects. The batter is thick enough that when you drizzle some across the surface, it leaves a clear, defined trail that holds its shape for about 10 seconds before sinking back in. Think of warm pudding. It flows, but it has body. This consistency gives you enough time to pour cleanly into molds, create basic layers, and still manipulate the batter without it setting up on you too fast. Thick trace is the stage where your soap batter has become genuinely dense. Think mashed potatoes or a very stiff pudding. When a spoon stands upright on its own in the batter, that is your signal you have reached thick trace. Pouring becomes difficult at this point, so working quickly matters. The upside is that thick trace holds peaks and textured designs beautifully, making it ideal for rustic, handcrafted tops that give your bars real visual character. Now here is something that trips up a lot of beginners: false trace. Your batter looks beautifully thick, you think you have reached trace, but what actually happened is your solid butters, things like shea, cocoa, or mango butter, have simply cooled and started to firm up the mixture. That thickness is not emulsification. It is just cold fat solidifying. The danger is real. If you pour at false trace, your oils and lye water have not properly combined, and once that batter warms up in the mold, everything separates out into an oily, unusable mess. The fix is straightforward. Keep your stick blender going. True trace holds its thickness consistently, even as you continue blending. False trace will either loosen back up or show uneven, lumpy texture as you work through it. You can also gently warm your soap pot slightly to help distinguish what is really happening. Think of it like cold butter in a bowl. It looks thick and stiff, but apply a little heat and it melts right back down.
That is false trace in a nutshell. Real trace is a chemical reaction taking hold, and no amount of warming will undo it. So do not rush that confirmation step. A few extra seconds of blending can save an entire batch.
Now, what if you blink and suddenly your soap looks like lumpy mashed potatoes? That is overtrace. And here is the good news. Your soap is not ruined. Work quickly and glop that thick batter straight into the mold. Press it down firmly with your gloved hands to pack it in. Yes, the top will look rustic and textured rather than smooth, but the saponification process carries on just fine underneath. Overtrace affects aesthetics, not chemistry. Now that you understand what trace actually is, let us talk about putting that knowledge to work. The trace level you target should be a deliberate choice based on what your finished bar needs to look like. Light trace keeps your batter fluid and workable, which is exactly what you need for swirls and intricate color patterns. Medium trace gives you enough body to hold layers cleanly and support embeds without them sinking. Thick trace is your friend for textured tops and rustic peaks. Match the trace to the design first, and half your frustration disappears before you even pour. And that wraps up our look at trace. Remember, 3 key takeaways. Pulse your stick blender for control, watch how your drizzle holds on the surface to gauge thickness, and pour at the right moment to match your design needs. Whether you are making a simple cold process bar or a detailed swirl, reading trace accurately separates good soap from great soap. Keep practicing and trust what you observe. Once again, this is Kathy the Clumsy Soaper. Be blessed and be a blessing to others.